To speed things up, because we are short-staffed, we're allowing people into the country without first doing that security screening.
Yeah, you heard that right. CBSA has been letting in refugees without first going through a security check. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. Tonight on the show, you're not going to believe what the CBSA had to say about how easy it is to get into Canada. Danielle Smith is getting a lot of backlash for protecting your children. And the police stopped a man from playing O Canada. We live in a dystopian world, brother. We live in a dystopian
she's crazy.
world.
I haven't heard about that story. The Danielle Smith one, the other two, yeah, I definitely have. So the CBSA, like that, this is their job. Why are they like? It's like the police being like, you know what, crime's out of control. There's nothing we can do about it. Like that's literally your job.
You'll see. I have the video I was playing came from.
Yeah, I'd like to see more context for what.
It's worse. It's worse. It's worse than just what I showed you. But it's actually worse. It's not. It's not a misspelled. It's not. Oh, that looks wrong. No. It is absolutely wrong. And you know what? Let's start right there. I have the video right here. I'm gonna upload it. It's gonna take a second. But it's absolutely insane. So the person that we're going to see is the president of the union of the CBSA. And what he had to say in committee is going to blow your fucking mind. So here we go.
Done there. That's changed to a system that's called One Touch. So essentially we get tombstone data. We do some biometrics. And the claimant is then allowed into the country to complete their security screening and such on their own through the One Touch system. They have, I believe it's 45 days to submit that, meaning in essence, to speed things up, because we are short-staffed, we're allowing people into the country without first doing that security screening.
Okay, hold on a second here.
Yes, hold on for a second, actually, because this is messed up. Yes. So there's an application called One Stop that you can actually download on your phone, and you'll see the guy in committees like, what the fuck did you just say? So basically, the union president of the CBSA just admitted in committee that there are refugees that are coming to Canada unvetted. All they need to do is to download an app, give them the information that they have, and they have 45 days to answer all the questions that the app has for them.
On the honor system,
and during that time,
right?
during that time, they're let in. So this is the context. But wait until you hear more, because it's a lot worse than you think.
Okay.
So you're saying that a refugee claimant coming to Canada goes to a machine and says, I want to be a refugee in Canada, hits a button and they're in the country? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not a machine, it's an application. So the One Touch system, they're given instructions on how to use that. That connects directly with IRCC, and they're given that documentation to complete on their own once they're in the country. We're not doing that. So basically
they take out their phone theoretically and they tap it a few times and they are now in the country as a refugee accepted by our country.
Yes, we get some basic data from them, and again, we do the biometrics. Beyond that, they're doing that on their own, yes.
So no human interaction. Your members do not ask any questions, don't confirm anything. It's a free-for-all into the country that way?
Very little. I don't know if I'd use the term free-for-all, but for the most part, it's self-declaration on the claimant's part, yes.
And so from your perspective and your members' perspective, this is not a good thing?
This is a terrible thing. It's during the interview, and again, I spoke to it in my opening statement about human interaction. That's where we ask follow-up questions. That's where we establish whether there's coaching, whether it's a legitimate claim. That's how those files are built so they can be dealt with properly. Later, that's where we gain that intelligence, and that's currently been lost, not to mention that about 10% never complete the forms through One Touch. So you figure with about 100.
Did you hear what he just said? 10% of the people that are allowed into the country through one touch don't not
even do it.
Complete 10%. But
So,
wait till, hold on, listen to this. Listen to the number that he's going to give you after the 10%.
So you figure with about 100,000 claimants a year, that's about 10,000 people who are allowed into Canada who they disappear. Then it's our inland officers then have to find them and remove them. So you're adding additional burdens down the road.
This is fucking insane. This is crazy.
So Table Salt broke that earlier. He posted this and it is not going viral. I'm collaborating with another massive account on Instagram and the views are very meh. So this is not going crazy yet. This should be a bombshell for everyone out there. 10,000 people a year are let into Canada
disappear
by downloading an app called One Touch on their phones. That's it. They never meet with a border agent. They're never vetted. There's no security done on them. And even the ones, and see, this is where I would have loved to push that conversation even further, is how many of them are actually caught lying. So if 10% of them don't even complete it, they just, fuck you, we're in and good luck finding me. How many of them complete it with incorrect information? Because they're already here. Do you know what I'm saying?
There's no need. There's no incentive to tell the truth.
And do you remember the time? How many times have I talked about this on the show? 17 to 24 months or more. The numbers right now are even worse. You're talking 3 to 4 years. It used to be crazy. 17 to 24 months to get your application reviewed, denied, or accepted. But now the numbers are more like 3 to 4 years, and we're letting them in without even first check. Like, it blows my mind. I don't understand how this is not in the front news of every single paper in Canada. Every single website is not talking about this. How all the content creators out there are not just talking about this right now. It blows my mind. Because how much you want to bet that those 10,000 people are men in their 20s, fighting age, as we call them. Those are not old women. Let's be honest here.
You can't basically. And actually, before I come, I just want to take this just because it's about the channel there. Penguin P's over on our on the Political Orphans channel. Yeah, no, most of the people are still here on Nico Lagan, but if you're over there, just stay over there. We appreciate that. It'll just help us get into the algorithm a little better. You're still on the main board. We still see your comments. So just wanted to do some housekeeping there. To the point, this is crazy, man. You cannot have an immigration system that's on an immigration that's on the honor system. You know what I mean? This is like, it's like a bank on the honor system. You know, oh, I'd like to withdraw $1,000. Oh yeah, good. The safe's down there. Just take out 1,000 though. Okay, don't worry, I won't take out more. This is crazy. This is how we get into this situation where immigration is out of control, and people will be like, you know, the far left woke idiots will be like, oh, well, you know, those like, it's not open borders. We still have, you know, you have to go through the regular procedure. Yeah, well, this is the regular procedure. You download an app and press a button, and no one even talks to you, and it's on the honor system. And it's just insane. It's hard to wrap your mind around. And then what do you say? 100,000 refugee claimants a year. There's not that many refugees in the world, for the entire world, let alone just coming to Canada. Like, to be a refugee does not mean you come from a poor country. That's not an asylum claim. There's very few countries that could have a legitimate asylum claim. And I guarantee you the vast majority of people come, like, there should be just basic screening. Are you from India? Yes. Okay, then no, it's denied. There's no war in India. There's no need for, there's no scenario where you could be a valid refugee if you're from India. It's crazy.
It's hard for me to, it's like the third time I listened to it, and it's hard for me. I knew it was bad. I fully knew that it was bad, that we were not in a good state, that we were not taking care of our borders, that we really had open borders. But now we're admitting that we are letting unvetted individuals, like we're talking about. So there's an article that came out today. I don't know if you saw that, but it was saying over 400 Hamas leaders have connections to Canada. So they have family here, they have people here.
Sure.
Is that what they're going to do? Are we going to end up with Hamas leaders that are going to leave Palestine to come over here because they know that all they need is to download an app, click on a few buttons, they're in, and then they can just disappear? Is that what we're talking about? Like, is that what we're talking about here? Of course.
This is it could be anything. That's the point, is we don't know. And you know, it's something about, because so remember, we went over the benefit. They get pretty decent benefits if you're a refugee, if you're an asylum claimant, right? So think about that. Like, I assume you do have to complete your one stop in order to get your benefits. So anyone who's not completing that is giving up benefits. They're not doing it for no reason. If they're giving up their benefits, it's probably because they have another reason to not want to be tracked in the country, which means it's probably not a good reason.
No, but we're giving them the incentive of just disappear. And what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Are we going to say, so another thing that the average Canadian doesn't understand, places like Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver are considered, I had the word,
sanctuary.
Man, thank you, sanctuary cities. So those people can still get social services and nobody's going to ask any questions.
That's crazy.
And I guarantee you they're not going to go after them either.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely insane. It is crazy that this is not only is this crazy, but the fact that people are not reporting on this blows my mind even more. This is what really blows my mind. How are people not outraged by this? How are people not losing their fucking mind over this?
What's crazy is that guy he's the head of the union of border patrol agents, and he said they're not happy, right? Of course they're not. No. Like they're that's their job, is to protect the border. So when they're being told essentially don't do your job, they're not going to be happy. But what's crazy is that, like, this guy's the head of the union. Why are we just finding about this now? Like, he obviously is a high profile guy if he's the head of a national union. It should have been as simple as him calling a mainstream media reporter and saying, "Hey, did you know that we basically have, like, this is the literal definition of open borders, right? If you can come in with an app on the fucking honor system, that's as open as borders as you can get. I mean, that's literally open borders." And you know, people are like, "Oh, it's not actually open borders." No, it actually is. It's literally an open border. If you can walk in, like you said, the reason that the agents sit down and talk to people claiming refugees is so that they can see, he said, if they've been coached, if they're getting, you know what I mean? Like, and I guarantee you, they don't even need to be coached, because they've told you won't be asked any questions.
As somebody that travels between the US and Canada all the time, I get more checked than those fucks that are not from here. This is what's insane. Yeah. I've gone checked. Sure. Every time we come back from the US, we have a trailer, right? We have a small U-Haul just with our stuff that we travel between Canada and the US with. Every time they check us, it takes an hour or two. We're stuck at the border. They go through everything. They look. Those people can come in the country without filling up any paperwork, literally. Download an app, start the application, we're in.
That's crazy, man. That's wild.
And this is not a conspiracy theorist just sitting somewhere, right? It's the president of the union of CBSA in committee This is not just a dude talking in his mother's basement here. Absolutely insane.
What's crazy is like, who were those people interviewing? Were those liberals or conservatives?
No, that's a good question. I'd have to check the names one by one in order to
I'd be
see.
very surprised if liberals brought this guy in here.
I would be very, but the thing is, keep in mind that the guy that was talking is against this, right? He's not okay with this. Like he mentions it during the video, like we're not okay with this, and he seems to talk
he's not happy.
CBSA, but he's saying from the get-go that they're understaffed. Like the solution here is not to hire more CBSA agents. The solution here is to close our fucking borders. That's the. You know, I've been saying this for months. Close the border, close the border, close the border. The more we go, the more not insane it sounds. Like for most people to say, hey, we need to stop all immigration, that's crazy. What's crazier than stopping all immigration? Allowing anybody that's asking for refugee claims. You realize that in Canada, you don't need to be approved to be a refugee and get benefits. Now we took it a step further. You don't even need to have a security review in order to enter the country if you claim asylum seeker. It's absolutely insane. Well, here you go, sir. Welcome aboard. Well, oh, no, there's nobody to welcome you. So you get a text on your phone. Sir, here's your temporary identity. Have fun. Thank you. Welcome to Canada.
Yeah, like that's like they could their identity could, like, they could just make up a name and say they could be whoever they say they are. There aren't any they're just literally, it's not even like there's weak controls or weak security controls. There's none. There's literally none.
And I'd be curious to know how they choose the people. How is it chosen, the people that see? Is it just everybody that uses an app is just, we don't check? Because all he said is 10,000 people don't fill out the information.
Well, so no, I think so. He said like you log it, you download it, and then you have to do like an initial where probably actually your name, and you say I'm a refugee, and they have to at least do that. And then you have 45 days to complete the rest of it.
What I'm saying is that, is he saying that every single person that registers through the app doesn't see someone? Because the number that he mentions is 100,000 people come in as refugee claimers, which is more than that by the numbers. There are at least 250,000 left from just last year, last time that I checked. Are you saying that 100,000 people, so the number is not 10,000, the number really is 100,000. 10,000 of them don't. 10,000 of them don't complete the paperwork, but 100,000 of them come into the country without us.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's, I don't think, honestly, I think unless you're like just a woke immigration, nutcase, like I think even most liberals would, like regular liberals would be like, this is crazy if they knew this was going on. I use my parents as kind of the standard of like boomer liberals. I know that my parents would be outraged at this. They like normal people understand you can't just open your fucking borders like that. That's crazy, man. This should be a national scandal.
And how long has this been going?
That's another good question too. When did this start? Because it wasn't like this 10, 15 years ago. It wasn't that easy then. So when? What was the decision?
The name of the One Touch app. That's the name, right? OneTouchApp.ca. When did it come out? Oh, Jesus, you're not going to like the answer.
What's this?
No. Okay, hold on. That's another app. No, that's another app that's called that. That was because the app said
Okay.
2017. Like,
You know what? Wouldn't surprise me if it was 2020 or maybe 2021.
I wonder why you say that. I wonder
Yeah,
what
'cause,
happened during those days.
Yeah. Well, you remember we've talked about how it seems all over the West in 2020, immigration shot through the roof in every single Western country, Canada, even the US, Australia, Britain, France, Germany. If you look at their immigration numbers by year, you'll notice a massive spike in 2020. So this must be the craziest coincidence in the world, or there was someone actually, there's someone, it's something they all got together and decided to do. We're not talking about like a slight tweak to existing immigration policy. This is a fundamentally new immigration policy. And you can't just fundamentally change major policy in the country without public buy-in. Well, I mean, you can clearly, but you're not supposed to be able to. That's not how democracy is supposed to work.
So it came out at the end of 2022. So it's been operational for 3 years.
Okay. That's crazy, man.
It streamlines eligibility for determination at ports of entry for low-risk claimants. Like, how the fuck do they even know? Low risk, sorry.
Low risk, not
claimants.
low risk. Well, you know what? So because they're defining the low risk claimant as a refugee, so they're saying any refugee is a low risk claimant. But if any person gets to claim refugee status, then that's not how it works. They're saying like anyone who claims to be a refugee is low risk. No, it doesn't. Lots of refugees are high risk, and lots of people just lie. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a terrorist or a criminal, you understand that you just like I said, man, an immigration system that's based on the honor system is fucking insane.
I'm just blown that this is not a scandal.
Yeah.
Because literally nobody, Table Salt, the person I got the video from, was about the only person I've seen that was reporting on it. Other people like me reposted it as in like, what the fuck is this? But this is not a scandal anywhere.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Irad says, do you need a passport to travel to the USA? Yes, I believe you do. Or
do you
travel
need a
to the
passport
USA?
if I'm driving? Well, you need one to travel to the US no matter what, so it doesn't really matter if you're driving or not. You're going to need a passport.
I think
to
he
get
just
into
means
the
traveling.
country. Yeah,
but yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah, if you don't have a choice. Oh, yeah, you don't have a choice.
Okay.
It's mandatory. It's been mandatory for a while.
And when you come back, you're probably screened more than refugees coming into the country. Well, of course you are. You still have to go through an actual customs agent who looks at you and asks you, some question or another. You'll get in eventually, but that's more scrutiny than a fucking refugee gets. They don't even get a human being. They don't even get a border agent to look at the person's eyes or to look and see if he's fucking got a tattoo of Bin Laden on his forehead or whatever the fuck. The point is, we don't know. It could be literally anybody. And you think word doesn't get out pretty quick, right? Once a couple of them get through, they call their buddies back in fucking Palestine or wherever the fuck and be like, guys, you won't believe it. You literally, all you have to do is come in and press yes on an app and no one will even look at you.
Of course, this is probably sold as a service, just like the Coyote services between Mexico and the US, right?
Sure it is.
There's money to be made with that. There's no doubt.
There's probably some entrepreneurial scumbag who says, like, yeah, I can sneak you into Canada without even, like, the person doesn't even realize that anyone could do it, and they probably pay the guy $10,000 or something, and then they get in, like, oh, that was good. Those are probably the 10,000 people that don't finish the paperwork. It's hard, yeah. It boggles the mind. It's hard to put words into it exactly how messed up this is. I mean, I think most people understood that the immigration system was broken, but I think I think most people thought that yes, we're letting in too many people, but that we're at least checking the people that are coming in, but we're not even doing that.
I don't know what it's gonna take for Canadians to wake the fuck up. Like literally, I was looking on X and I asked Grok which stories of the stories I wanted to talk about was trending the most. This
Yeah.
one is not even trending compared to the next story about Danielle Smith. This so
Wow.
10,000 from the numbers, between 10,000 to 100,000 people have entered Canada every year since 2022. Let's call it 2023, since for the past 3 years. And at least 10,000 of them did not fill out the paperwork. And from what I gather, 100% of them did not have a security screening. Like
No.
it's too insane to I don't think my brain can compute. That's the problem. It sounds too crazy to be true. Yet the video was right there.
The guy,
in committee.
the head of CBSA union is telling us. Well, now he should be screaming from the rooftops, though. He should be doing whatever he can, not just waiting to be called into some committee. But
Maybe that's how he got into committee. He approached
could
MPs
be.
and he's just like, hey, this needs to stop, guys. I got a breaking story for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe he went to the mainstream media and no one wanted to touch it. You never. I would have liked to. I would like to ask this guy, like, have you tried to talk to people about this? Have you tried to sound the alarm? Because he didn't seem like he was keeping it secret. He sounded like he's sounding the alarm.
He sounded defeated. That's what he sounded like. He sounded just like he's talking about it. It's like it's so ridiculous. But his name is Mark Weber. Mark Weber, CBSA president.
Okay.
Union. I'm just checking him. I'm just checking if I can find him. We've searched. Oh no, he's been talking for a while actually. And he's been CBSA union president for at least a couple of years, because he was on Global News last year saying we search less than 1% of what comes into Canada. Oh, because that's another thing. I don't know if you ever seen those numbers, but all the cargo that comes into Canada is literally not looked at all. Everything that comes into Canada, it seems like, just no problem, open borders and just let's see what happens.
Yep.
I'm gonna see if I can. It's crazy. I'm gonna see if I can get in. I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with him.
Oh yeah,
that'd be great. The show to talk about it.
That would be great.
Yeah. I have nothing to lose. It'll take 2 minutes for me to find an email address and contact him. On that note, here's the. Actually, we will talk about the sponsor of the day. So the sponsor of the day is Gabble, the world's first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to sit back and watch, or if you have the balls, you can join and debate others, because like us, Gabble is about civil discourse. Our affiliate link is in the description below. So if you want to support the show, download the app. It will support us, because obviously we make money every time there's a download. But I tried it today. It was actually pretty cool. I logged in for the first time today and I just had fun and I debated people. It's cool. It's very cool. You can make money too. As somebody that debates, if you win, you make money.
So you did it, eh?
Yeah. I tried earlier today. It's actually, it's cool. It's good. It's super polite too. No, it's good. It's good, and it was super polite too. Yeah. Like it's it's the younger generation, right? It's developed by 20-year-olds, so the generation's a bit younger. But I debated a bunch of people, and it was actually pretty polite. Like it's really just, it mixes you up. Is like, here's the question: like, is Joe Rogan too big of an influencer? Does that guy have too much of an influence on people? That was one of the question they had today. So I enjoyed it. It's very cool. So I suggested the people to do it. Very, very cool. Before we get to the next story, Stu thank you for the tip, kind sir. Stu saying, Nico, you and David convinced me Pierre Poilievre should have brought down the government, even if just for the sake of the bills. Yeah, it's because we were just talking about that on the show just before this. And yeah, you know that David Creighton is a conservative guy, but he supported the party. He supported the party for years. He was still supporting Pierre Poilievre a few weeks ago, and now after the budget, he's just like, what is happening here? So it's funny to see. It's funny to see David Creighton even losing faith. Yeah. That was the line there, and he's the one that brought it up. He's the one that wanted to talk about this today. So I'm like, yeah, I'm always happy to rip into Pierre Poilievre, so no problem.
Oh yeah, it's right up your alley. Don't need to tell you twice.
Nope. You want to get into the next story? You want to take some comments? What do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's. Yeah, no, it's I think because most of the comments I saw were just basically like, yeah, this shit's crazy. Well, there's a couple we'll take here. Mark Gadd says, it's more than this. The Liberals are supported by Canadian organizations linked to Hamas. They mobilize their people to vote for the Liberals. It's a deal. Yeah, I think that's the reason for this this like massive, this open borders policy by the Liberals, and not just the Liberal Party, but every Liberal Party in the West across the West. It's kind of a weird switcheroo, because typically it has been the right, or at least the corporate right, who has been kind of in favor of open borders because it drives down wages. They love cheap labor that they can exploit. It's weird that the left has sort of grabbed onto this as their pet thing, and of course they wrap it up in a moral issue. But yeah, I think it's votes. I think they think if we can bring a bunch of third worlders here, give them a bunch of free shit, there'll be a reliable voting bloc for us. And I actually don't know that that's necessarily true. A lot of the people they're bringing in, especially like in the States, they're bringing in a lot of the illegal migrants are South Americans. A lot of those people are conservative, more so than the typical. They're pretty heavy Catholic, hard Catholics, and they'll come to the country and they'll take the benefits, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to vote for the Democrats. Our immigration demographics are different. It's mostly Indians, and they 30%. Yeah, which is a lot considering the other 70% is the rest of the entire world. That's a lot for just one country. Here's
what crazy. I was talking about. Here's what I was talking about to kind of build on what Mark Gadd is saying. The Canadians and Hamas, the operative leaders and financier, you're looking, and this is Global News that's reporting this, and here's the line you want to look. About 450 people with assorted roles in Hamas have ties to Canada, according to a source familiar with the intelligence on the matter. So can you imagine? So you have a guy in committee today telling us that 10,000 to 100,000 people, refugees a year, come into the country unvetted, and now you have an article in the Global News saying that there's 450 people that are Hamas leaders. We're not just talking a little foot soldier here. So you're talking about some of the leaders of Hamas that have ties to Canada. So how long before they end up here?
Well, if they're not already here, there's a door open for them, wide open.
100%. And you know that they know, right? If we know, they know. They knew that way before us.
Yeah. Mark Gadd says, yes, it's a deal between the left and radical Islam. Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, I heard the term for the first time the other day, Islamo-leftism. And I think it's absolutely correct. That's what's going on. It is a alliance between the left and radical Islam, and it's absolutely what's going on. It's especially in Europe that's what's driving a lot of this the migration there, and driving a lot of the political pushback against people who are trying to stop it, trying to say, look, immigration system is out of control. We need to crack down. And then the Islamo leftists we'll call them racist. And this, there's a history of this in Iran. When they overthrew the Shah in, I believe, the 70s, because Iran was quite pro-Western, And then there was an Islamic revolution, and they were supported by many of the leftists in the country. And of course, what they did then, as soon as they took over power, they killed them all. And that's exactly what would happen here. It's this hilarious alliance between Islam and the left, but Islam hates the left. They despise them. They will use them as a tool. Yeah, it's chickens for KFC. It's queers for Palestine. These motherfuckers are getting flying lessons as soon as they get real power. They're going off. It's crazy.
There was a town in Michigan that elected their first Muslim leadership, and what's the first thing that they did? Ban all LGBTQ flags from everywhere,
which is actually pretty base. It's actually pretty base, but yeah. And I remember there was an article written by someone, and she's like, "How could you do this to you? We got you elected. And they're like, yeah,
they don't like you. They don't care for you. They used you. They made fun of you. It's like Mamdani in New York. The new mayor-elect of New York is a socialist Muslim that was brought in a rich family. Yeah. How did they not see the Nazi? Not see the problem here. They not see the problem here.
Not see the problem. Yeah, all the fucking Marxists are all like rich kids, right? They're all fucking privileged rich kids. All the fucking communists and the Marxists. It's crazy, man. These people are just idiots, and we as a society have given these fools way too much power, way too much cultural and social power, and we got to start taking it back, or there isn't going to be any point to it, because there won't be anything to protect.
Richard Pierce is bang on. If you ask me, they want to have access to the USA northern border, and that's one of the things that Trump has been talking about for months, right?
Yeah,
like, guys, you need to secure your borders. And if I was the US and this comes out that 10 to 100,000 people a year are coming to Canada unvetted.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. It's going to be probably much easier to slip into the country if you're coming from Canada.
So how long before our passport is not even accepted in the US anymore? Like, this is the thing. The more this continues, how long before us going to the US as just regular Canadians that travel to the US all the time are not accepted anymore because of all this dumb shit that's going on?
Well, I mean, especially if there's a terrorist attack and it turns out that they came in from the northern border.
Don't give them ideas.
That's the kind of thing that I think could really cause something like that.
And I agree with Stu that is exactly what Carney wants. On that note, let's have good news. You want to hear good news? I like good news.
I do.
So here is what is coming out of Alberta. I don't know you probably heard about that because you post about this stuff all the time. But Danielle Smith invoked the notwithstanding clause on 3 bills that passed. Well, 2 bills that passed, one that is still about to pass. And she's getting a shit ton of pushback. And obviously the reason being she's targeting the trans individuals. But I agree with her 100,000,000,000%. So here is a small video explaining what she actually did, what are the bills, and let's discuss afterwards.
Before it was even tabled, backlash to Bill 9 building outside the Alberta legislature.
I can't think of a single person whose life is being improved by what's happening with Bill 9.
That bill uses the notwithstanding clause to shield 3 laws passed last year. 2 are currently being challenged in the courts. All impact transgender Albertans, but opponents say using the notwithstanding clause, which allows governments to temporarily override charter rights, affects everyone.
When a government uses the notwithstanding clause to strip away rights, it is not just targeting one group.
Yeah, exactly. You're a man, bro.
Of our democracy.
The laws covered by the bill include restricting access to some gender reassignment treatments for youth, requiring parental consent for students under 16 to change their pronouns, and limiting participation in women's and girls' sports to those who were born female.
These measures reflect the views of an overwhelming majority of Albertans.
Alberta's premier says using the notwithstanding clause is about ensuring governments aren't overruled by the courts.
By invoking it, we're keeping these decisions in the hands of those who are directly accountable to Albertans.
This is the second time in under a month.
So here you have it. Here's more information. So you have Bill 26, Bill 27 that was about requiring parental consent for students under the age of 16 to be able to change their
Common
name
sense.
/ pronouns
Absolutely common
at
sense.
school. 100%. Bill 26 is to ban informal. Oh, no, that's the same. Sorry. Bill 26 is restrict gender affirming care for minors, banning puberty blockers / hormones, requiring parental consent for surgeries. Common fucking sense.
It shouldn't even
And
be
then-
surgery. Should just ban fucking. There should not be any surgeries for underagers. Any type of quote unquote gender affirming surgeries, which really just sterilize kids at a time when they are simply not able to make decisions and knowing what they want.
And then the last one is to bar transgender girls, women, bar dudes from female amateur sports category, requiring sex-based divisions.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah. That's
common
common
fucking
sense.
sense.
So I just want to take some DNL because I hear this argument all the time.
Oh, we had to
Nonsense.
Invoke the clause.
Hold on. Sorry, my bad. I was trying to remove it. Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to click on that one too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read
It's
the
a
comment.
nonsense argument. What rights do transgender people not have that other people do? Right? Like, I don't.
No. That's but that's not what he's
it is
asking.
Not restricting. What charter rights are being restricted by not allowing teenagers to cut their penis off? What about the girls' rights that when the boys are playing in their sports? Do girls not have right to fair competition? Because frankly, I think most people would agree that they do. The rights of a boy, when they're saying they're restricting trans women from playing sports, that's not true. They're restricting them from playing female sports. They can still play male sports with all the males. No one is restricting anyone from playing sports that aligns with their sex. All they're saying is it's just codified in the law the segregation of sports by sex, which has happened for a very long time.
But that's not what DNL is talking about.
What's the point, though? Like, what charter rights are being restricted?
I can
can
explain it to you. No, but I can explain to you where he's going to, and he has a good point. It's the withstanding clause allows the government to change the Charter of Right, in this case, the Charter of Right of Alberta, without the Supreme Court being able to challenge them for up to 5 years. So the withstanding clause is being used in order to put amendments to the Charter of Rights of Alberta. And that is where the question is, because if you look, like DNL is saying, I hear you, Rob, no arguments there. So they're not, because the idea behind this and the reason that Danielle Smith is using it is basically, and obviously I'm paraphrasing, I'm just talking for her at this point, it's that she doesn't want woke Supreme Court judges like we see all across fucking Canada. If you haven't seen any woke judges, they're everywhere that will challenge her.
Overturned.
And that's the point. So she is putting that in place in order to make sure that the Supreme Court of Alberta cannot overturn Bill C-26, Bill 26, Bill 27. And I can't remember the exact name of the last one. It's an act, but it's the one for sports, for no men and women's sports, basically. So what DNL is asking is, when is it okay to change the Charter of Rights? And does that make it okay right now? Because he's not disagreeing, but he's not disagreeing with you as in he disagree with the bills. That's not what he's saying, because he clearly said, I hear you, Rob, no argument here. What he's debating is the philosophical point of, should the Prime Minister or the Premier have the rights to change the Charter of Rights without preventing the Supreme Court, while preventing the Supreme Court of challenging, of appealing.
Okay,
basically.
but like, it doesn't give her, it doesn't give like carte blanche. It's not a blanket ability to shield all laws, right? It's just these specific laws. Is that correct? Like
the withstanding clause is about everything. She could basically change whatever the fuck she wants in the Charter
I
of
thought she
Rights.
had to declare it for specific bills. Like she invokes the notwithstanding clause for this bill or for that bill, and it can't be used for anything other than that bill.
Yeah, but she has an unlimited amount of.
Oh yeah, she can invoke it on any bill.
But that's what I'm saying. So basically, she has the right to veto pretty much everything she wants. Well, not veto it, but prevent vetoing on anything that she wants, right? She could say tomorrow that gun rights are, that free speech exists in Alberta. She could add that to the Constitution if she wanted. Like, she could pass the bill.
Well, she still has to invoke it publicly, right? Like, so, and then she'll be held responsible by voters if they don't agree with it, I would assume.
But that's the thing. So you basically elect a leader that has the power to change the Charter of Rights. And DNL, like, I can answer that question. When should that be used? That's a good question. It's a case-by-case situation, but should a leader be able to change the Charter of Rights? In a perfect world where they have perfect leaders, yes. Do I believe that right now our leaders should have access to that? Fuck no. As we speak right now, fuck no. I don't want our leaders to be able to do that, but it should be. Yes, because he's right. DNL's absolutely right that the notwithstanding clause will completely undermine.
Oh, so your issue is with the clause itself and not her
is the
use
fact
of the clause
should she be able to do that? Should a leader be able to do that? Like in this case, I agree with her that if she let the court go, they would turn down.
They would overrule. They would
overrule those bills. They would not happen. So in this specific case, do I agree that she should be able to do it? Yes, but man, you're putting a lot of power into the hands of a leader. That's for damn sure.
Okay, so your beef is with the notwithstanding clause in general, not her use of it in this case.
No, exactly, and that's what he was saying. At least that's what I understood. Is he agrees in this case that this type of shit should not be happening, and that the courts are really filled with woke judges. But we've said this multiple times. Like if you look at free speech, for example, you have a liberal government right now that's trying to restrict our free speech with C2, C8, C9, and a new bill C63. A lot of liberals are like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Hate speech is terrible." Yeah, but what happens when it's a conservative party that don't like what you have to say? Then you become the victim of that same thing because it's available to them. And God knows that if it's available, politicians are going to use it. So I think that's where DNL is going. It's a great question.
I can see that argument. It's an interesting debate and I think one worth having. I certainly agree with the use in this case. Of the notwithstanding clause, but I think I could certainly be convinced. As DNL says, I do not agree with Smith using the clause as so hypocritical. How do you mean? Explain in what way? Do you mean Danielle Smith specifically it being hypocritical, or just kind of explain yourself there.
The thing is there has to be a process that would be better while utilizing Canadians as a whole. So let's say in this case, sake of argument, that the vast majority of Albertans are for Bill 2627 and the new act to prevent men from women's sports. Let's say that the vast majority, like she said in the video, that vast majority of people are against it. Okay, cool. You use the withstanding clause in order to prevent the woke courts, because they're already challenging the bills, to stop them from voting them down. Okay. How about if it was temporary? How about the leader that we select, whatever word you want to use, are capable of doing it because you selected them to do a job, but it's only temporary. There needs to be, let's say, a referendum in this case where it would ask the people the question. Right? Just to say, hey guys, here Alberta, I use the notwithstanding clause in order to prevent woke judges from taking those bills down. Do you guys agree with what I'm doing or not? Technically, it would just be it would not change the charter. It would simply pause the process of the Supreme Court to remove it, and then you put it on the people to say, here's a referendum. We're going to have an election on that point alone. We're all going to vote on that day. Let's see what people think. If you're in favor of what I'm doing, we will change the charter for the next 5 years, because the withstanding clause is normally for 5 years. But in this case, it could be for more, because technically the people have voted for it. I'm just saying, there's ways to make it more involved with the public. But I want a leader that in a good, let's imagine a situation where you trust your leaders, which I don't, but they put it to the people. They just say, I'm blocking it because I don't want those things to be taken down. I care about the children. I want them to be protected. I don't want Supreme Court woke judges to remove those bills. But let's put it to the vote. My clause is just going to prevent them from doing it, but let's ask the people, see what they think. We'll take it from there. There's ways around this, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly is a lot of power to put into a a premier or a prime minister.
Yep.
It's funny because I don't know a whole lot of the history of it. Like, you hear the term quite, here and there. If you're,
it's been used often recently. Yeah, it's been used often recently. Yeah.
The prime minister can use it too, right?
Yeah, he has something similar, because he was saying that they were talking. It was Sean Fraser that was talking about using it or not using it, and now you're hearing it in Alberta because she used it against the teachers going on strike. Remember a couple of weeks ago? She used the withstanding clause to prevent the teachers of going on strike. So,
Interesting.
But like I said, Danielle, because it's a great conversation, and I know Danielle's a leftist. That's why I keep on choosing his comments, because I like to debate or speak with leftists. But conservative argues for the protection of individual freedom and charter right, and I agree. That's why I'm saying it should be to the people. I don't know that I want a prime minister or a minister or a premier, to be able to do that without consulting with other people. If you're putting it to the vote, let's say you trust your leaders, you trust the voting system, and it's the people that choose, then this is how we are, right?
Yeah. Danielle says, as an Anglo-Quebecois, I know how my rights have been infringed by the notwithstanding clause. What are some examples? Because I'm not like I said, I'm not super
because they changed the Charter of Rights in Quebec to make it like, let's say, language laws.
Yeah.
Where, let's say you're a business, you have to have both in French and in English. The French needs to be bigger, so you're putting onus on the business. Same thing with, if you're a child, you need to learn French, and now they're making it more and more where you need to speak the language if you're an immigrant to come to Canada, to come to Quebec. So that's probably what he's talking about. But there has been withstanding clause
by the provincial government using the clause. I see.
Yeah, exactly. So similar to what to what Danielle Smith's doing, not for the same reasons though, but for different reasons against the English people. Yeah.
We all have, we all often base our opinions on our own life experiences. I can't really remember any time, the province I've lived in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, when they've used the notwithstanding clause, at least in a way that's affected my life. And so I never really had an issue with it. But I could certainly be convinced that that's too much power. In this specific case, I agree with it. I think I like the use of it. But if someone was trying to make a case that just the clause should be removed and completely, I could certainly be convinced.
Yeah, to me, it should be temporarily. It should just be used temporarily, as in to prevent something
is it
like
not?
In this case.
Did you say 5 years?
It's 5 years, but what I'm saying, when I'm saying temporarily, I'm mostly, remember when we were talking about the people that, like Chris d'Entremont, that was able to leave the Conservative Party and become a liberal overnight. That shouldn't be allowed. He should become an independent and then get another election and try to run as a liberal. If he doesn't get elected, well, fuck you, you lose your seat. I see it the same way here. You shouldn't be necessarily able to do something without asking the people first. So you should have a kind of intermediate state where everything's stopped, nothing's moving forward, nothing's moving backwards. You prevent the story from developing with the withstanding clause and then turning around to the people and say, hey guys, here's a referendum. What do you guys think? Should those bill be voted?
We have the technology to have some direct voting on a lot of issues, right? Like imagine if there was like an app that everyone like could log into.
Have you ever seen the movie The Circle? Before you answer that, watch the movie The Circle, and then you'll realize that it's not a good idea.
Oh yeah, is that what they have?
It's like a Facebook platform that becomes so big that their next step is to force people to vote. And because everybody has a digital ID, because everybody has their social media identified, hooked with their provincial or government issue IDs, they're recognized, they've been authenticated, so they're basically pushing digital ID through social networks, and then they're saying you don't have a choice to vote, you have to vote, and you can vote only through our app. It's a slippery fucking slope. Yes, technology's there, but I don't trust the people behind the technology. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you do it the old-fashioned way, where like you set it up and everyone goes to the polls, that just takes like resources and infrastructure and logistics that make it not really practical to do it for kind of quote unquote minor issue or whatnot. Is kind of what I'm thinking. It's hard enough for us to do elections. That we can barely get those right.
There's a. I'm getting a few comments on Instagram. One of them is pretty interesting. No, they don't show here. I need to go look at the page myself. But basically, it's saying that MN North Point is saying, guys, 2/3 of the country needs to shut down for a week and ship out to Ottawa. And the reason I'm taking that comment is funny because I recorded with Pat. Shit, why am I drawing a blank?
Stay?
The guy from... Huh?
No.
Why Tabernacle? What the fuck's happening with my brain? The guy that was part of the Freedom Convoy. He went to he was on house arrest for a while.
Didn't we have him on the show?
No, Pat King. No, we never had him on the show. But I recorded with Pat King a couple of weeks ago in his studio in Montreal, and that's basically what he was recommending too. It's like you want to have your voice heard. Everybody stops working for a week. Stay home. Just stay home. And I looked at it. I'm like, we'll make it even worse and don't file your taxes at the end of the year. Just don't file them. Most people work for companies that already...
He's talking about a national strike? Is that what they're talking about? Like just...
basically... Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's basically what he's saying. Stay home. And that's what North Point on Instagram is saying. It just reminded me that Pat said the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I mean, stuff like that, it never really takes off though, because people got to eat, they got to feed their kids. Most people, you can't just take a week off and then go back to work. You're basically quitting your job.
Unless you're a government worker, then you probably get a raise because you didn't fuck up that much.
Yeah.
There's one more video. We're gonna run short on time, but I wanted to show one more video before we go because this is just what the fuck. This is just so outrageous. But this happened. I believe that it was on Monday. I believe that the backstory is this, and for the people in the audience, if you've seen that video, correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I gather, this video was taken the day that they raised the Palestine flag at the Toronto City Hall. This dude showed up with his big speaker, and he played the O Canada song. But look at the response from the police.
Don't bother me doing the national
That's garbage, man.
my property, first of all.
It's always a fucking woman too, eh?
You
Yeah.
understand that? You understand what you just did? You disrespected
But-
our country, man.
But one of the things that the reason I wanted to show this video is that this is nothing new. There's pastors getting arrested for preaching on the side of the street. This does not surprise me, right? This is just, you could see, if you notice, hold on, I'll rewind it just a tiny bit, but you can see that there's a crowd over there, right? Oops, I went a bit too far. You see in the back on the right side? There seemed to be a crowd. So I believe that it was taken when the flag was being raised or just after. But what I find awesome is the reaction of the dude in the back. So you see the guy right there with his arms raised. So yeah, but now everybody joins in.
Country, man. Glorious and free. There's no amplifier. Oh, Canada,
that's cool.
we stand on guard
Bye.
for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God bless Canada.
So basically the point of this video is just to show that if the censorship police wants to stop you from playing a song, fuck them. You don't need to listen. You can simply sing. Because they can't stop you from singing. Clearly.
Not yet, anyways. Not yet. That'll be Bill C6, C70. C70 will be no singing in public. Yeah, I don't like, as Trevor Benson says, these cops are traitors, period. Like, I know some idiot would be like, oh, they're just doing a job. But what job is that exactly? Like, what law are they actually enforcing? Because it seems really funny that it's only specific things that they'll shut down. They don't shut down Muslims praying. They don't shut down Muslims blocking streets. If Buddy played a Muslim call to prayer there, they wouldn't shut that down. So, you know what? Even if it was technically her job, even if there's just, let's say, a noise ordinance, she could just pretend like she doesn't see it, right? She could just ignore it. It's just, she didn't have to go out of her way to shut that off. I don't understand. We're being taught to be ashamed of our country while forced to celebrate every other country, and it's fucking bullshit.
But you know what I like is this. So
but geez,
you look at her
male cops.
So you see, and she is so smug. She just stands there, just looking at him, and she even takes her face covering off. And I'm just like, I worked in bars for years, right? When I stopped drinking alcohol, I was a sales engineer. I was making a boatload of money, but I wanted to kill my buzz of going out. Go in a bar, work in a bar. When you're around people that are drunk, you'll see you won't want to go to the bar anymore. So I kind of killed my buzz. I wanted to get rid of that habit. But the point I'm trying to make is that how many times have I seen fights that we stopped where we got rid of the people, we threw them in the street or gave them to the cops? It was always a female cop that was starting shit. She was always the one talking shit, being belligerent, being impolite with people. And then as soon I remember, man, there's a time where we kind of escorted some native guys, and native genetically can't handle alcohol very well.
Booze, yeah. There's
like
something.
It's not in their. It hasn't been in their around. It hasn't been consumed by their ancestors enough for them to get used to it. We've been alcoholic for thousands of years. White people have been drinking alcohol for fucking ever. The alcohol was probably in our hands when we came out, right? So
for sure.
What I remember is that the guy was drunk, and even me as a fighter and the guy was working with, we were a bit nervous by that guy. Like clunky dude that he just looked like he's been in way. Yeah, but sometimes you look at somebody and you're like, yeah, that guy doesn't fuck around. Like, I don't care how good you are at fighting, it's gonna suck. Like
He
you're
did-
gonna,
yeah,
it's
this
gonna,
guy- this
it's
guy's
gonna
a
be a,
This guy's a killer.
it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna suck. I don't care how good you are.
Yeah.
I'm not just walking away from this. It's gonna suck. But he's removed. He leaves. The female cop starts talking shit to him, and he turns around, and he was a mean looking dude. She went to hide behind her partner that was a big boy that kind of protected her. But how many times have I seen this in altercations where the police officer, the woman, acts like this, like just goes to the guy's face to turn his speaker. You know that in a fight, she ain't protecting herself. I'm sorry, you're not.
No.
They're always acting tough, and yet have you seen, there was a video that was released a couple of days ago of two police officers, two women that were trying to arrest a guy, and all the guy was doing is just like this. And he wasn't even a big guy.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
Okay, I'm done making fun of female police
Yeah,
officers.
we gotta stop it there. All right, guys. Excellent show. Yeah. A couple of new faces tonight. Good to see you guys. Hopefully, you guys come back. If you want to support the show, you can do that by becoming a member through YouTube. You can for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can also buy us a coffee that you'll see in your upper right hand corner of your screen. The QR code there. Other than that, folks, we will sign off and catch you tomorrow.
Oh, by the way, guys, we are joined by constitutional lawyer Sean Buckley tomorrow to speak about Health Canada not having to label stuff. This is nothing new, but we're going to go into it tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
the meats.
See you tomorrow with Sean Buckley. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.